Hey y'all, hey, welcome back to my channel. I am TJ Randolph and thanks for stopping by. If you're new here, welcome. And again, thank you to my new subscribers as well as my day ones. I truly appreciate it. I decided that I want to kind of do some commentary on my latest guilty pleasure, which is Later Daters, because as you know, your auntie is 57 years young and I met my honey, my baby, my husband, my love of my lifetime at the age of 51. So I'm wearing a shirt. You see it because my sorors or my sorors had mentioned to me to check out this show a couple of weeks ago, and I hadn't done it, but something led me to it. So I went on and got the Netflix and tuned in, and I'm hooked. So I'm trying to figure out, instead of going episode by episode, just kind of do a summary, depending on a summary on each main person. So, can you guess where I'm starting? Sarah, I love you. Don't look at my nails. But but Soror. The reason why I wanted to start with you because we have so much in common. We are so I see you. I see you. Now I understand this is reality television. I'm not sure how much reality and how much, television. But and I know that the editors do their thing, but there are some things in there that I definitely would like to talk about. I took some notes here. Okay. Now, the first thing I noticed in the first episode, you indicated that, or Lori indicated that she sits in her car and just decompresses. She is a boss by day and a boss by night. A student engagement behavioral coach by day, and then she hits the red carpet as rich Auntie Lori by night, so she's large and in charge, making it do what it do. Brain's always going. And divorcee, single mother to two young adults, but still regulating. Just regulating, okay? So she says she wants someone to be proud of her. She said she asked how her day went. Have you had something to eat? I gotta turn my fan on. Hold on a minute. It's that time. It's that time. You know what I'm talking about. It's that time. Hopefully it won't. It's not too much air coming through the mic, but that's what's happening. So here's the thing. So she said that she wants someone to ask her how her day went. How someone, she wants someone to be proud of her. She wants someone to who's not intimidated by her career and accomplishments. Now, I'm not going to say that there aren't some men that may be, but those men who are, it's because they're not self-actualized. But a lot of times, it's not that they are intimidated by us. They don't want to deal with our bravado. Let's keep it a buck, shall we? And as I watch, I'm only up to episode 5. I'm only up to episode 5, but my Lord, we get in our own way. Yeah, we get in our own way. And I remember saying, I want someone to allow me to be this, and I'm paraphrasing, ain't no telling what I said over the years, but so I can relax and just kind of let go. But the truth of the matter is, didn't know how. Didn't know how. You see behind here. You see behind here. You understand me? The oldest born to a single mother, a single parent myself, raised my daughter primarily as a single parent, then an officer in 2 branches of the military. What? And this. Come on now. What? I didn't know how to slow down. But yet, in every relationship, I took myself with me. So I'm not going to say that it was all me because it wasn't. But looking at certain things, if I share some of my day ones, that I did it the wrong way. When I was married to my first husband, my daughter's father, who happens to be, prior Army as well, both of us were trying to lead it, and that just wasn't the correct order. Okay. Now, okay, I took some more notes here. I found it very interesting when the dating coach said that her glasses were like a mask, and I really didn't look at that at much because I like glasses. I mean, it's this accessory. I have a lot of them. Okay, but I saw how they cover the majority of her face. They are off-putting. It's not because they're not stylish, but because it's like a barrier. You know what I'm saying? And I could kind of see that. It's not, those glasses are not inviting. They're not soft. And again, I understand it's the brand. So the brand is more than the facade of you. I'm not a style coach. I'm not any of that. But I do know, when we ask for help and the experts give us their sage counsel, just like, you are a student engagement behavioral specialist. That is your expertise. You want them to listen to you to get the benefits of that expertise because you are successful. Okay? I mean, for real, let's think about it. Now, here's another thing. She said, it's not the glasses that says, don't mess with me. It's her personality. It's both. And because of that, a man, the type of man, not necessarily that we want, but more importantly need, is not going to wrestle with us for that place. One of the things on the when the dating coach talked to her children, it hit home for me because when she said, basically, and I'm paraphrasing, that both of her children are more introverted because she is so larger than life. When her daughter, I can't remember if it was her daughter or her son, said, it's hard because you always show up, meaning this larger than life personality. And Lori said, well, I can't help it. That's who I am. But we never realized they were overshadowing our children. So then when her children asked, the coach asked the children to participate in that experiment, when they said it was hard for them to find their voice because it was someone, or their mom was to talk for them. We don't see it like that. We just think that we're taking care of our babies and we, when in charge, take charge, but not realizing that we are overshadowing them our personality is taking over so they can't develop their own. Like when the daughter said that she learned her voice when she went to college. And I'm going to tell you something, Sora. Again, I know it's editing, but it was killing you to be quiet for 5 minutes. It was killing you. I get it. And then when you said that it's hard to turn your brain off, I'm right there with you. But if it's important to us, we must learn to practice it, to disconnect, and not be dismissive. Because when the dating coach said something out there, oh, I'm in therapy. It's working. And I said that because going back to the children, again, you see my baby back here, she's 30 years old now, wife and mother. She is very opposite of me, very much introverted. And I remember listening to your daughter say that. I remember raising her, and again, me being in the military, her being a military brat, saying, mom, my mom could talk to anybody. She'll talk to a stranger, she'll do this, and it's like she knows everybody. And and then she would hear stories from when I was in college and the kind of person I was, and then seeing me, do my thing in the military, doing my thing in the federal government, and I didn't realize how I was silencing her voice in ways until I just heard that. And another thing, full transparency, because we are large and in charge and we handle business, we have a tendency to overstep our bounds with the best intentions, especially for our babies, our children. But we do. So, what it amounts to is we cannot relinquish control. If we cannot relinquish control, how can we be really able to invite someone in to our lives? Because you said you don't want to be hurt. No one wants to be hurt, but there's a risk. There's a risk. Meaning you have to release control and allow yourself to soften independently of that man, because you got to allow yourself to soften before you meet him. Because that means you're softening, you're rounding out those rough edges before you meet him. Because that's the way that you know it's real and lasting, because you're doing it for you first. And then by doing it for you, it ultimately invites someone into that space who can sense that you are a safe place for them to land. Like the dating coach stated, a soft landing, home, not an airport. I'm going to go out on a limb, Lori. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say the personality that you have, you've always had it. Probably going back to childhood. Well, how can you say that, TJ? Me. My 81-year-old aunt lives with us, and her and my mom, who's 75, has stated, going back to childhood, I could never keep still. I was always planning something, always orchestrating something. A lot of times getting in trouble for it because I was, just orchestrating, planning stuff. By the time my mother would wake up, if we didn't have school for the day, by the time my mother would wake up, I had a whole day planned. And get in trouble. But it served me well. It served me well in school. In many instances, it served me well in the military. It served me well in the federal government. Not so much in relationships. Not so much in relationships. And I divorced my ex-husband in 2002. So between 2002 and the time I met my husband in 2018, I had relationships and tried, some, what do you call it? Circle back or whatever you call it, a couple of times. I hadn't done the work to find out, what I needed to do to attract the right type of man for me. Something else that your children says, that the men that may like you Sarah, may not approach you because of your personality. A bull in a china shop. I'm not just talking about you, I'm talking about that's how it was. Shoot, please. It's like I didn't know how to do anything else. And again, it served me well. You know, the coach said it's hard to engage and listen when there's so much going on in your brain. I get it. You have to quiet it, and it takes effort. I'm working on it. I wish I could say I'm a finished product. I'm not. But I've done enough work to realize I was getting in my own way when it came to the relationship I said I wanted. You know, it's funny, my husband, he hears the stories of the kind of person that I was when I was, in this role. I'm retired now or semi-retired, you know, and it's very different. I'm still me, but I am a lot softer, gentler, more, I guess, I don't know if you call it male centered, but I'll just say that I'm definitely softer and gentler. And it doesn't have to be my way. And it's not necessary for me to control or navigate or orchestrate everything. I say God has a funny sense of humor because, like I said, it appeared to pain Lori to be quiet for 5 minutes. Again, I understand the editing and all that, but it was obvious because even in the parts that she was supposed to be quiet, her son's talking. She's like, "I'm sitting through this. You're supposed to be quiet. You're supposed to be quiet." Your daughter says something. They're talking about me like I'm not here. You're supposed to be quiet. Child. Child. You said you're afraid of being hurt. I already talked about that. Who isn't? But you're going to have to learn to relinquish control. I swear, you know, I often say, and I know you guys get tired of me saying it, but I don't care. I tell Mr. Randolph, I waited my whole life for you. You know, and he's the kind of personality that I am. He's the complete opposite, and that's a good thing. Because I'm like this. I need somebody to keep me right here, who can bring me in, bring me down. Whereas with my ex-husband, we were the same, and we were just like this. I didn't need anyone that was like me, and interestingly enough, I was looking for that. Or I was gravitating toward that. Someone who would see me, love me, glow me, a larger than life personality. And then that respect, it wasn't room enough for both of us. It wasn't room enough. And I'm gonna tell you something. She talked about that dadgum white shirt. I could really sorrow. Really? But before I talk about the white t-shirt, the date, you dominated that whole thing. Just like your son said, he didn't like you talking over him. You were talking all over that guy. And one may say, well, you weren't feeling him anyway, and that's a possibility. But I'm inclined to think that's just who you are because you said that you're trying to work on it. Jan Levan said, what you do anywhere, you'll do everywhere. Now, I know this is, entertainment, television, and all that kind of stuff. But hey, do we really want to find love? Do we really? Um, the T-shirt. You were looking for some. You know, I say I've said shared this story before, but my husband first when we started dating, I think it may have been our third get together because we went to church and he had this suit on that was not complimentary. This suit and these shoes that were not complimentary at all because he had, lost a lot of weight way before he met me, but he was still wearing the same clothes that he had when he was a lot heavier. And these shoes I could not stand. Now I could have easily said, "Oh no, 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 no." But what I did, maybe it was a little bit too soon, because that was our first little tiff. I went into his closet one day when he was on the road. He's a truck driver, and I got the measurements of some of the clothes that is his current size. And I bought him a suit. I bought him a suit. I was so excited to show him when he, came off the road and, asked him to try it on. And, he seemed to like it. And then when he left, he texted me saying that, no, 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 he didn't text me. He said that he kind of got quiet and said, if I was sure that I wanted to date him. I said, well, why would you say that? Let me back it up. He hadn't tried it on yet. He hadn't tried it on yet. And I was telling him about the suit and I showed it to him. And he got kind of quiet and he said, are you sure you want to date me? I said, well, of course I do. Why would you say that? He says, because, I don't need anybody to try to change me. I'm a simple guy. This is who I am, blah, 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 whatever he said. And I said, I'm not trying to change you. I'm not trying to change you. I said, you've worked on this body. Would, you should wear something that complements that body that you worked so hard on and not hide it under these clothes that are obviously too big for you. I said, besides, the things that make you you and how you treat me, I would never want to change that. So he tried it on and looked at himself in the mirror and said, okay, I'm sorry. You ain't gonna have no more problems out of me. You know, that's what we do. We help mates. You understand me? Help meets. And he is my soft place to land and I am his. We make each other laugh. Shoot, today, when I talked to him, and I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up. I was talking to him on the phone. He said, "You get your package?" I'm like, "What package?" He said, it showed that you got it on Monday. I said, "Oh, I thought that was for you." He said, "Whose name is on it?" I said, "I didn't even look because it was from nuts.com." And I said, "Well, I just assumed because you don't only want to order stuff from nuts.com." He said, so I went and got it. True enough, it was here since Monday. And I opened it up and it was a beautiful arrangement and I just started crying. Because I had a tough day today. He said, "Why are you crying? It's just some nuts." And I said, I said, "You're always thinking about me. You're always thinking about me." And going back to what the Sora said, he said, "We'll be at home. Have you eaten something today?" Because I'm always taking care of everybody else. And one of the funniest things, I said, God has a sense of humor because my husband talks slowly He doesn't say a lot. He talks slowly. And again, because my mind is always, um, initially it was a challenge to not talk over him because again, we talking, women, we talk a lot. But I learned just to sit there and listen. And like Judge Lynn told us, say, just pray that by the time he's finished, I'll remember what I was going to say. But I don't overtalk him. I sit patiently. He's proud of me. I hear him talking about me sometimes. If we have work to be done about the house, and they'll come around and they'll see the military flag in the living room, and they say, sir, were you in the military? He says, no, that's my wife. She's retired military, and blah blah blah. His voice gets a little deeper. Proud of me. We got to get out of our own way, Sarah, and ladies in our age group, because we're settled in our ways. We're set in our ways, especially if we've been single for a long time. You know, my husband didn't graduate from college, but he is so wise, so intelligent. We talk about everything. He's not intimidated by anything I've done. And the last thing I'm going to say before I end this one. When we got married, because again, I'm the social butterfly. I've kind of become introverted since 2020. I need to work on that since COVID. But during our wedding reception, one of my sorors, God rest her soul, Sheila Jean, said, I love how he just lets you be you. Because, he doesn't dance that much. We had our dance on the floor during the reception and a couple of dances, but, you know, he just sat back and just watched me do my social butterfly thing. He's not bothered by it. And I would look over and see him smiling at me. We're the complete opposite. But I've never known love like this before. But I had to get out of my own way. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Take that with you.